So today's a little different. Usually Jen and I are together and having fun. But I'm a mess today because I'm so sick. But I really wanted to talk to you about this challenge that we want to do. And I'm going to have Jen share her experience and her feelings. I shared a video, and I'll link it again below, from Marisa Peer's. And she talks about how a lot of people and their situations and the things that they deal with in their life are because they feel they're not enough. And I've really struggled that with my own life and feeling I'm not enough. And another person that also really pushes I am enough is Brene Brown. And Jen actually had us read this book for a book club, and I couldn't get through it. I mean, look, it's tiny. It's tiny. And I couldn't get through it because it was so intense. It was such an intense book. It says, let go of who you think you're supposed to be and embrace who you are. So there's, after watching this video from Marisa Peers, I thought, that's really interesting, because she suggests putting it up around your house so that you can see it, like you are enough. And so I made these things for my children. It says, this was for my son because more manly. Well, at least it's not girly. I was like, had a little flash there, I made it on Pick Monkey. It's best ever. And it says, remember who you are, remember where you're from, remember you are loved, you are important, and you are enough. And she said to put this around the house. And so I put it by their dresser. It's on the fridge. It's in their lockers. So I put a magnet on it. It's in their lockers. I have one on every mirror. So she also talks about changing the way you feel about even chores, like dishes, and about doing the same thing, instead of going, oh gosh, I don't want to do the dishes. I hate doing the dishes. I would rather shoot myself in the foot than have to do the dishes. And instead to go, oh, I love the dishes. I delight in doing the dishes. I get such joy from doing the dishes. And it's all about this brain entrainment to help your, excuse me, help your brain, change and adapt and make things that you really don't like, things that you can tolerate or do, like, oh, I love eating salads. I love eating healthy food. I feel so good when I have healthy food, that sort of brainwashing. I don't know what else to call it. But anyway, I wanted you to do this with me, and I wanted to see if it works. To see if having stuff around you like I am enough, having those things, I have it on my phone, to see if those things really make a difference. And I wanted to do a few weeks. So this week I wanted to start with I am enough. And so below in the bottom are some links to some printables that you can print off that say I am enough. And you can Google I am enough, and there will be a ton of pictures that people have created. And then next week I want to try something else. I want to try, like, I love doing the dishes or something, or we could do it something. So let me know what you really need to work on. And I want to give it a good 4 weeks to see if we can really, really, really change our behavior by just having pieces of paper and telling ourselves that we love to do the dishes, or I am beautiful, or I am worth it, or I am amazing. And now I'm going to turn it over to Jen. She's going to share her experiences and her own journey from going from I'm not enough to I am enough, and how she feels about that.
Hi, and welcome to Random Chittering. I am really missing Trisha today because she is not feeling well, so we are videotaping ourselves separately, which is kind of weird, but that's okay. So a few weeks ago, Trisha asked me if I would be willing to look into some articles and this woman that she's learning about and this new thought process called I Am Enough. And if I'm being completely honest, I didn't have time to look at it, and I wasn't really in a place in my life where I needed to look at it because honestly, I went through a very similar experience about 3 or 4 years ago where I was really struggling, and I wasn't depressed, but I felt like I was stuck. And as part of that experience, I had something similar happen where, like Trisha, I stumbled upon, for me it was a video, and I felt like it was a gift from God that I found this video that someone had posted on Facebook about this author who was studying shame and studying happiness. And anyway, I found that video, and I didn't even watch it when I found it. I actually saved it in a tab, and it was weeks before I actually watched it. But when I watched it, it was something that really spoke to me. And that author is a researcher called Brene Brown, and she's written a series of books that, I was like seriously addicted to. Like, they became a really big part of my life. And one of those books was called The Gifts of Imperfection, letting go of who you think you're supposed to be and embracing who you are. And in that time of my life, I really, really needed what was in that book. And part of that book is, part of her research is the same process of telling yourself that I am enough. I am enough just as I am. I don't need to lose 30 pounds to be good enough. I don't need to have 50 friends to be good enough. I am enough just the way that I am. And as part of that thought process and the books and whatnot, I went on a very spiritual journey for myself. And in that journey, I took off a mask that I'd been wearing for a lot of years. The who I think I'm supposed to be mask. I was always trying to fit in, and I felt like I never did. Like, I wasn't making connections like I needed to be. Like, I didn't always belong. And it was because I was kind of pretending, I think, to be someone else. And so on my journey, it was a chance for me to learn more about who I really am, and to learn to love myself, and to learn to not care as much about what other people thought of me. So I kind of, as part of that journey, right, I'd always wanted to be a DJ on the radio, but I was afraid of what people would think, that people would think I don't know, like it would be really a shameful thing to do. And so as part of my journey, I actually got a job as an event DJ to come out of my shell and to let go of all the fear that I had inside of me about what other people thought. And what was really funny is when I shed that mask of what I thought I was supposed to be, and I embraced what I really wanted to be, like who I really am inside with my own thoughts and dreams and desires, when I embraced that, what's so funny is I went from wanting to fit in all the time to finding people who loved me for who I am. And I started to connect with people in a very real way. And I started to get a sense of belonging. And I went on a journey to find myself, because for so long I was trying to be what I thought other people wanted me to be. So anyway, I had a really amazing, very spiritual journey almost for about a year of my life. And it was kind of hard for my husband and for myself, because we weren't necessarily the people that we had married. What we showed other people on the outside maybe wasn't necessarily the person we were on the inside. So I had a really, really amazing journey. And you know, it's not been perfect. Like I don't always shed off what people say or what people think, you know. Sometimes what people say and do still really hurts. But I do feel like, you know, people can take me or they can leave me. I just want to be true to who I am and to what I believe in and what I love and do those things. And that was part of my journey. And I don't know what journey Trisha is on, but I do know that I think God puts us on journeys for a reason, and maybe Trisha is on a new journey to find herself or to find some fulfillment in life. And I'm excited for her and this journey that she's on, and that I can be a part of it and be a support to her. So good luck to you, my friend. And I hope you get feeling better soon, and I hope that you find what you're looking for. Okay, love you. Bye.